we like saying that disability is a club. You never know when you can join it, but just be grateful.
Pause. That really hit hard.
At some point, I felt like my parents don't love me. I was like, why are they bringing me here? Like, am I less of a person? Do I look like a mad child? But it's only after I was an adult that I saw the reason why they took me to that school. I should also be open to just letting the people know that yes, I am like this, but I have a disability. Yeah, because I'm not avocado to be loved by everyone. I'm not even ice cream. You know, there are those disabilities that can be seen and there are those that cannot be seen. But we just need to be kind to each other. We are all going through a lot in life.
You're comfortable?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Beyond the Pain. My name is Anne Veronica, standing in for your favorite interviewee. I know you might be disappointed to not see Njambi Gaito on this seat, but I'm sorry, she's held up. So I will be standing in for Njambi Gaito, and today we have a very, very interesting guest with us. Her name is Magdalene Chesoli. She told me I can call her Meg because her friends call her Meg. I guess I'm her friend, right?
Yes.
All right. So maybe Meg, can you tell us something more about Meg away from the headlines that we know?
Okay. I would say how I describe myself these days is Meg is a bubbly, down-to-earth person who loves life. Generally, I love to dance. I love to dress up. Other than that, I would say I'm a fashion content creator. I am a street model. I work at Sackleg as community manager. And other than that, I am a disability advocate.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Those are many hats to wear, but I can attest to the bubbly bit. I have seen her behind the camera and she's really bubbly. Anyway, you are here because of the last bit you've told us about, a person with a disability. Yes. And before even we dive into that, how was your life before you got to have that hat?
Okay. So I'd say the kind of disability that I have is physical, and I have one leg. So I was born with one leg, and I would say growing up, the only form of mobility I used, or a mobility aid, was a crutch. And I grew up, or I played with my fellow kids, you know, trying to understand why was I born like that? Like I have one leg, yet the others have two legs. But I'm grateful that my childhood was really interesting. I am one of those lucky kids who were never bullied. All my friends just accommodated me the way I was. I don't remember any given point where they made me feel like I'm a less of a human being. It was just me looking at them and comparing myself with them, just trying to understand, you know, why am I, using a crutch for my mobility, and then they're using both legs. But it never really got into me and made me, feel otherwise. So I would say the whole of my primary life was really nice. Like I would take part, whether it's games, I would, play with my other friends. I think it's only when I went to high school, that's when reality kind of checked in, because the whole of my primary school, so I schooled in Kitale, that's where I was born. And I never at any single given time remember seeing any person with disability, whether they were on a wheelchair, they were using crutches, calipers. I never got to see anyone. So it's only until when I went to high school. So in high school, I went to Kisumu. There's a school called Joyland. It's a special school. That's when reality for me checked in. And I remember the first day when my parents dropped me to that school, I had a cocktail of emotions, because I was just like, wait a minute. Okay, where are we? Like it's a school, yes. You're expecting to see people with, I would say both legs, because that's what I'm used to. And here I'm seeing all these different kinds of disabilities. And I like saying that I had a cocktail of emotions, because at some point I felt like my parents don't love me. I was like, why are they bringing me here? Like, am I less of a person? Do I look like a mad child? But it's only after I was an adult that I saw the reason why they took me to that school. Yeah.
You said you had a cocktail of emotions.
Yes.
And I know a cocktail is a mixture of things.
Yes.
You've only told us one bit. Tell us about the other emotions that you got.
I think just seeing other persons with disability on wheelchairs. There were others who were crawling down. There were others who were walking with crutches, calipers. That was something new to me. You know, no one had even prepared me. And even as much as my parents were taking me to school, they didn't sit me down and tell me, our daughter, yes, you have cleared your class 8. You're supposed to go to Form 1. And the school they've called you, that's not the school we are taking you. We are taking you to a different school. And this new school we are taking you to has this kind of people who are living with disability. For me to just know that, okay, they care about me and they want me to know that I'm not alone. So the fact that this was not communicated to me prior kind of made me, have all those cocktail of emotions and just trying to understand, how do I convince them now to get me out of this school? How do I make them know that this is not what I want? This is a totally different environment. And I felt at some point like, are they embarrassed of me? And so they've decided to, bring me to this other environment. I think life teaches you a lot, and you now, in retrospect, you look back and you're like, okay, they had good plans for me. And they wanted me to understand that I'm not alone. And also not to feel like I'm a less of a human being, or I don't deserve all the good things that life has to offer. It's for me to just be open-minded. Yeah. So I'll say that's what really made me have all these emotions.
Okay. Because I'm getting it like that. The cocktail of emotions was when you joined the school. So at the onset of your high school life. So when did it occur to you that it's okay, they don't hate me, they want to show me that I'm not alone? When did it occur to you in that manner, and when did you realize that it's okay, let me just go ahead and school here?
I would say it took time, because remember, even when I was joining Form 1, I was still walking with my crutch. I did not have a prosthetic or an artificial leg as other people know it by that name. So when I joined, I was just like, okay, let me just see, they've brought me here. This is something I don't have control of. And the good thing, I think, what kind of made me also agree is because as much as it was a special school, it also had other students who did not have any form of disability. So it accommodated the two groups, persons with physical disability and also people who didn't have disability. And I think my interactions with them kind of made me realize, okay, if they have both hands, both legs, they have no physical disability, and they're here, why should I, feel like I'm less of a human being? I just need to relearn, but it took me time. I would say it was not an instant thing. Probably when I was in Form 2 or even heading to Form 3, that's when I kind of now embraced, like, this is the school I'm going to learn until I clear my Form 4, and I just need to be open to staying there.
Okay. Yeah. So in a nutshell, I don't want to move out of this high school story because we rarely get stories of someone from inside a special school. So in a nutshell, how would you describe your high school experience in that specific school?
Looking back, I am grateful they took me there, because there's a lot of things that I did in that school through just learning also from my other students and also teachers who kind of pushed me. They saw potential in terms of me being a student. Yes, I would learn, answer questions. I remember there was a time where we had an exam and we tied with one student. It was a special school, but a mixed special school. And so this particular student, who was a guy, used to be number 1 every other term. And it happened this specific term, we tied. And for me, that was something amazing. I was like, okay, so I'm not stupid. I can do better. And I also took part in sports. So I used to love playing volleyball and badminton. I also took part, I think when I was in maybe Form 3, I became the games captain and we won a trophy during that season. And then I would also take part in either, outside school activities where we are competing with other schools. So I think those were some of the things that kind of made me, just embrace the environment and getting encouragement from my teachers. Like, I even have 2 of them that I'm still in contact with, and they're like, we are happy to see you where you are right now.
And they were happy to have had in that school as well.
Yeah.
So now badminton, I have played badminton sometimes. And how are you playing? Or you still play with your crutches?
Now, something funny is as much as when I joined Form 1, I was the whole of my third term is when now I got my first prosthesis. I would still play with my crutch. Now, I told you I am a bubbly person. Even when I was a child, like some of my relatives were reminding me, they were like, we could see you run around with your crutch and we were worried you would hurt yourself, but you would still do it. So for me, I started with the crutch and I would move from one point to the other. I think being a child, you're still energetic, this is something new that interests you. You're just open to doing it. I did it. But now when I got my first prosthesis, things kind of changed because now with the crutch, I had gotten used to it. It was flexible. I would move around because it was one long crutch. But now when I got my first prosthesis, it was different because it was heavy. And it kind of limited me in terms of now moving from this point to the other. It's only until I got used to it that now I was able to, play effortlessly without straining.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now you can move past high school and come to life after high school. So how did you find because as much as whether we went to campus or no, life after high school is still life outside now. Like you get to experience life in the real world. How was it for you?
I think for me, it was nice. I like calling myself a community child because I was not just raised by my parents. I was raised by my aunties, my uncles, my grandparents. And all this time, like the different places I went to school, like I would stay with all these people. And so after high school, we were waiting for my results just to see how I performed and where they could take me. But I'm grateful that my mom, sat me down and she was like, it's okay. Like whatever grade you will get, we will see what you can do. Remember, this was someone who was a nurse. And of course, she has expectations from her children just to also be productive people in society, make something out of it. And I'm grateful that I did not, I'd say an average student. I got a C+, and that enabled me to go now to university. I went to Masinde Muliro University. I did journalism and mass communication, but specialized but specialized in PR. And I would say even my campus life was quite a journey. I was the only student with a physical disability in that school, in that university. And I remember, I think I was should be in my second year up to fourth year. We had a radio station, so I also I used to have my own show in the evening, where I would share, love stories, music, and people would, contribute to the discussion. It was really interesting, but also, I think that's also the point in my life where I also faced stigmatization because, people would wonder, why is she walking like that? And the few who are able to see my leg, of course, they would distance themselves. And I can't really blame them. Once you're empowered with knowledge, you are able to make decisions and, improve your life and not discriminate other people. Yeah. But I really don't blame them. I think they didn't know better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there like a specific instance that you remember that stuck with you till date?
So I remember there was a day where one of my friends was in a club, and in that specific club, they were going to Masai Mara. And as students, they were doing a contribution. So I was not part of that club, and they were paying 300. Imagine coming from Kakamega, Masinde Muliro, going to Masai Mara. This is a different county, and you're paying 300 bob. For me, when she mentioned that to me, I was like, I've never been to Masai Mara. Let's go. And she was like, sawa. So you send me your money and then I'll pay and I'll make sure I book, seats for both of us. And I was excited, looking forward to the day. So what we did in preparation the day before, because we had been informed we needed to be at the pickup point by, I think, 4 in the morning. And so we tried to make our own breakfast the night before. But the problem we did is that we did not set our alarm correctly. So we were woken up, I think, 30 minutes to the time we were meant to be picked. And we just rushed to shower and carry our stuff. And then now my friend who was able-bodied, so I told her, because I can't run fast like you, do this. Just go to the bus, select the 2 seats where we'll sit both of us, and then me, I'll follow you later. So she went, selected the seat, and she was one of the officials. And by the time I got to the bus, someone else had already sat at the exact place that she had picked the 2 seats for us. And so she tried to inform the other person, this is her seat. I had booked it for her. But the person was so adamant, he refused to leave that particular seat. So I told her, it's okay, let me go and sit at the back side because there was space over there. Then I went there, sat there. Remember, I am wearing a very long dress that could show a bit of my prosthesis, just a bit. And majority of the people didn't know that. And so when everyone got into the bus, there were guys who were behind me. And one of them had noticed me. So he came and, remember, we had not taken our breakfast. And we were trying to figure out, okay, where will the bus stop for us to at least buy? But this guy comes, he had bread. And he says, hi, can you have a piece of my bread? And being a lady, I was just like, asante, niko sawa, mimi nimekunywa chai nimeshiba. The guy insisted. And I was like, thank you, maybe next time. And then he told me, because you refused to eat my bread or even just taste it, I'm going to sit next to you. I was like, okay, no problem, because now my friend is on the other side, and being an official, she can't come to the back side. So we sat with the guy. We in fact, we talked, and anyone who had joined us would have thought we had known each other before. And then when we got to, I think it was Oyugis or Kisii. I think it was in Kisii. So the driver told us that he hadn't taken breakfast and we should all alight and then go and take breakfast. Then this guy tells me, by the way, me and you today are going to eat breakfast together. And I told him I can't because...
You made your own breakfast.
Yes. And my friend is also waiting for me. The guy insisted. I told him I'm coming down. So he went and waited for me outside. But for me, as much as I'm seated in the bus, I'm just asking myself, does he know I have a disability? Is he going to be comfortable to even walk or be seen with me as we are going to take breakfast? And I didn't leave the bus because that was not the first experience I had had. And so I just continued staying there. I think he kind of felt like I'm taking forever and his friends were leaving him. So he decided to just follow them. And then when I noticed he's not yet there, he's already gone, I was happy. So I called my friend. I'm like, "Mko happy?" Then we went to the hotel, took our breakfast. But now when we were coming back, because where the driver had stopped the bus is not the same place we were going to find the bus. He had changed. He had taken the bus to a petrol station. So that was like our place of us meeting and then getting into the bus. And as we are walking, and this is something that I think happens to me unconsciously when I'm walking. So something just came into my mind, and I felt like, Ebu, look at the back. So I turned, and the first thing I noticed was this guy was pointing let me just say at me. We were like 4 ladies, or 5, but the finger just pointed directly to me. And I turned in front and I laughed. So the reason why I laughed, I was like, okay, now he's aware that I have a disability. And I was like, okay, let's just see what will happen. So he didn't know, but his friends had told him, by the way, did you know the lady you are talking to has a disability? And him pointing was to confirm, do you mean that lady? And when we got into the bus, this guy did not come and sit next to me. The same place we were sitting before we alighted. He went to the other seats. Did not utter a word. Nothing. Never said a word. And so I was seated over there. I'm like, okay, what's wrong with me? Like, we've just known each other. And it's just okay to just let the other person know, like, oh, let me sit at the back with my friends. you don't have to sit me just because we were speaking earlier so well. And I had so many questions going through my mind. But again, I was like, I can't change who I am. If that's how he sees me, it's fine. But I think at the back where he was seated, the friends were not happy. They're like, but you've been talking to her. Why haven't you even said a word that you're coming at the back? Just go back and maybe apologize, do something.
Or says,
yeah, they kind of pushed him, yeah. And then he came. And, he didn't look me in the eye. There's a way he sat on the seat and he's like, Manze, can I speak in Swahili?
Okay, so we are assuming that I'm you. And you're the guy. Okay. So am I supposed to look?
Yeah, just look the front part and you're talking to me, saying, I didn't know you have one missing leg and you're using an artificial leg. I'm really sorry. But he couldn't look me in the eye. Okay. And for me, I think with the different experiences I've had with both genders, I was just like, I don't have to, as long as the person has apologized, they've seen they're wrong, I don't see the need of holding that grudge.
Yes.
So I just told him, it's okay, you don't have to worry. But I think he felt bad because even after our trip in Masai Mara and we went back to the campus, he still looked for me, apologized, and I don't know, because even from our first conversations, I didn't tell him where my room was. And I think he just asked. Finally, because I was staying inside the campus. And so he was able to, find my room, came, apologized. And ever since then, we became friends, the best of friends. And I think for me, I learned a lot, I think, from that experience. I'm like, I will not assume that everyone will take me the way I am. And I should also be open to just letting the people know that, yes, I am like this, but I have a disability. Yeah. Because I'm not avocado to be loved by everyone. I'm not even ice cream. Personally, myself, I also don't like everyone. So, it makes a whole lot of sense to just be positive and know that people are different.